The 1,000 injuries of Fortunato I had borne as I best could, but when he ventured upon insult, I vowed revenge. That is how Montresor begins his account, not with a body, not with a trial, but with a sentence that has already decided the ending. He says that he did not give utterance to a threat. He smiled in Fortunato's face. He let the man believe that friendship remained intact. For Montresor, revenge is not revenge unless the avenger makes himself felt and escapes punishment. But the story never tells us what the insult was.
That absence is the first locked door. We are given Montresor's certainty, his memory of injuries, and the cold architecture of his plan. We are not given the offense that might make the plan seem anything but monstrous. The evening arrives during the supreme madness of Carnival. In the streets, masks and noise make private intentions easy to hide. And there, among the revelers, Montresor meets the man he has chosen. Fortunato has been drinking much. He wears motley, a tight party-striped dress, a conical cap, and bells. His pride, Montresor tells us, is not painting or gems, but wine.
In old wines, he is sincere. Montresor greets him with excessive warmth. "My dear Fortunato, you are luckily met. But I have received a pipe of what passes for Amontillado, and I have my doubts." The name of the wine passes through the Carnival like a spark. Amontillado? A pipe? Impossible! And in the middle of the Carnival? Montresor pretends that he may have been cheated. He says he paid the full price without consulting Fortunato. He says that if Fortunato is engaged, he is on his way to Lucchesi. The rival's name does what the wine alone cannot. Lucchesi cannot tell Amontillado from sherry. Montresor answers that some fools think Lucchesi's taste a match for Fortunato's. Fortunato takes the bait. He will judge the wine himself. Montresor protests that the vaults are damp, that Fortunato has a severe cold, that the nitre will make the air insufferable. Each warning is offered as concern. Each warning makes Fortunato more determined to continue. Montresor puts on a mask of black silk and draws his roquelaire close. Fortunato possesses himself of Montresor's arm, and together they hurry toward the palazzo. Before they descend, Montresor breaks open a flagon of de Greve. Fortunato empties it at a breath. His eyes flash. He throws the bottle upward in a grotesque gesture. "You do not comprehend?" Montresor does not. "Then you are not of the Brotherhood." "How?" "You are not of the Masons." Yes, Montresor says. "A Mason." Fortunato asks for a sign. Montresor produces a trowel from beneath his cloak. The joke is almost too plain to be a joke. Fortunato recoils, then returns to the promise below them. But let us proceed to the Amontillado. So the two men pass through the low arches. They descend. They pass on. They descend again. At the foot of the descent, the air is foul enough that their flambeaux glow rather than flame. The catacombs of the Montresors are not empty corridors. The dead line the walls. Bones rest beside wine. Montresor points to the white deposits on the stone. "Nitre," he says. "It is encrusted upon the walls." Fortunato presses on. His cough grows worse. "Come," Montresor says, "we will go back. Your health is precious. You are rich, respected, admired, beloved. You are happy, as I once was. You will be missed, For me, it is nothing. Fortunato dismisses the cough. The cough is a mere nothing. It will not kill me. I shall not die of a cough. True, Montresor replies. The answer is small enough to pass unnoticed. They continue. At the next station, Montresor gives Fortunato another draught of Medoc. The wine warms him. The bones turn the passage into a family history without dates, names, or explanations. Fortunato raises his bottle and asks whether Montresor is of the Brotherhood. Montresor's family motto is brought into the darkness. No one attacks the Montresors with impunity. Fortunato laughs at it. The bells on his cap answer from the stone. They go on in search of the Amontillado. At last, Montresor points to a recess in the deepest crypt. It is small, 3 feet in width, 3 in depth, 6 or 7 in height. At its far end, 2 iron staples hold a chain. A granite wall closes one side. Fortunato steps inside. He expects a cask. He finds the end of the passage. Before he can understand, Montresor has fastened him to the stone. The chain is short.
The padlock is quick. Then the bells begin to jingle. For a moment, there is no speech, only metal, breath, and the damp sound of the vault. Montresor turns to the pile of bones. From beneath them, he uncovers mortar and a trowel. The prop that made Fortunato laugh is now the instrument that will make the wall permanent. Montresor lays the first stone. Then another. The work is not frantic. It is measured. He completes a tier, then another. Between the stones, Fortunato's confidence changes shape. At first comes laughter.
A very good joke indeed. An excellent jest. We shall have many a rich laugh about it at the palazzo. Montresor answers with the name of the wine.
The Amontillado. Fortunato repeats it, but asks whether it is getting late. Will they be awaited at the palazzo? Will the Lady Fortunato and the rest be waiting? Montresor says yes. Let them be calm. The wall rises. Fortunato calls to him with a voice that no longer sounds like the voice from Carnival. Montresor continues the labor. The mortar is spread. The stones are fitted. The opening narrows. There is still time for Fortunato to call the whole thing a jest. There is still time for Montresor to pretend that the conversation has not changed. Neither man uses the missing word, the insult that began the plan. When Montresor has finished the 8th, 9th, and 10th tiers, and part of the 11th, only a single stone remains. The wall is almost complete. From the niche comes a low laugh. It lifts the hairs upon Montresor's head. The laughter is followed by a sad voice that he has difficulty recognizing as Fortunato's.
For the love of God, Montresor! Montresor answers, yes, for the love of God. He waits for the reply. There is none. He calls, Fortunato! Still nothing. He calls again. The silence is answered only by the jingling of the bells. Montresor thrusts a torch through the remaining aperture and lets it fall within. The flame reveals no rescue, no witness, no explanation. Only the last boundary between a living voice and a finished wall. He forces the final stone into place.
He plasters it. Against the new masonry, he re-erects the old rampart of bones.
The catacombs look as they did before. That is the horror of the plan. It does not need to announce itself. It only needs to leave no visible change. For half a century, Montresor says, no mortal has disturbed the place. He speaks as though the wall has kept a secret for him, but it has also kept his reason for building it. The story gives us the wound, the vow, the bait, the descent, and the masonry. It withholds the one thing Montresor thinks should make the whole sequence understood.
The bells stop. The wine is never examined. Lucchesi never arrives. Fortunato's family never enters the vaults. And Montresor's final words are not an apology. In pace requiescat. Rest in peace. Poe leaves the sentence in the dark with the body. We can see exactly how the revenge was carried out. We cannot verify the insult that supposedly began it, or whether Montresor's account is justice, madness, or a story he has repeated until the wall became the only answer he could still give. The carnival disappears above them. The stone remains.